I challenged myself to see how much money I can make over 30 days. I ended up finishing with a little over $160,000. It wasn't easy, it was a lot of work, and I'll tell you, it's probably not for everybody. But these are the biggest lessons that I learned over that period of time that actually made it possible. Normally when getting into a new opportunity, everything seems great. I remember when I first got into real estate, I was learning from all these different podcasts, and I remember listening to Real Estate Disruptors and probably a handful of other ones, waiting for someone to share a strategy that I was like, oh, that's the one I want to do. But what happened was I did that for like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And then my wife told me she was pregnant. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get going and get started. That was when I decided to say, look, I don't care about all these other shiny objects. I could be doing all these other things. I'm just going to start finding some properties. And for me, when I got into real estate, that was door knocking pre-foreclosures. So what I have learned time and time again, on your way to doing amazing things, probably the most important step is just deciding to get started. That is half of the battle. So if you're looking at a lot of things on your plate right now, I want to challenge you to say, look, I could be doing all these things, but obviously I'm not getting anywhere if I try to do them all at once. So what can I do right now? What can I do today? What is the one thing I could do today that actually make that possible? Make a promise to yourself, and you're already halfway there. So over these 30 days, while I was calling people, trying to find discounted properties, because that's the easiest path that I know to making a bunch of money really quickly, I actually had my online community following along. And it wasn't a coincidence. You can't tell me that Carlos and Esteban and Vicky and all these people watching finally started getting consistent deals in their business because they got to watch to see what work looked like. They got to see me do it, and they're like, oh, now I know what I should do, which was probably the most exciting part for me. But one of the biggest ahas that came from me seeing it through them and them working with me through the whole entire process was just the fact that the key component that most people are missing is consistency. We already know there's a million opportunities out there, and maybe you're already inclined to go towards one of them. And maybe the only thing you're missing is just sticking with it, right? Because it's gonna seem great in the beginning and you start doing it, you make that decision to go, and then it's harder than what you think it's gonna be. And then things come up and then life happens and it tries to throw you off. Like I knew heading into the 30 days, not every day was gonna be great. Not every day would I just have all the time in the world. This included weekends, this included times where I had to go to t-ball practice and do other things. I got 2 little kids, I got a wife, family, we had birthdays, but I made a commitment to myself knowing that it wasn't gonna be easy. And the only thing I needed to do was be consistent. So you will learn, especially there's no video out on YouTube. There's no video or course that you could buy that's going to teach you this, but you'll learn the key component to being successful is consistency. Pick what you're going to do, get started, but you dang skippy better be consistent. So this next lesson was something I've been reminded of over and over and over again since getting started. I remember finding some JV partners, and all that is a joint venture. I found people that were already doing real estate when I first got going, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna help find you deals, and you're gonna help me close them, and you're gonna go find buyers. I'm gonna get a piece of the pie when you go to sell them. And I remember working my butt off and finally getting some opportunities and finally getting a piece of paper that said, you know, here's the purchase price, Matt, you're about to make 15 grand. That was like the life-changing moment for me. But I remember the person I did the deal with, we were like, yep, we're gonna make 15 grand. And he goes, awesome, let's go get some more. And that stuck with me. I was like, for many people, including myself at that time, $15,000 was like, this is more money I've ever seen at once than ever before. And his only response was more. And to this day, what you will find to be the easiest way to scale or grow your business, just focus on doing more. Like, how did I do 30 deals in 30 days? We ended up finishing with 36 contracts that actually made that $160,000 possible. Well, how did I do that? I was only focused on more. And when I run my numbers back and I do my KPIs, like I know it takes X amount of properties to get to a deal and each deal is worth this amount of money. Well, I know in order for me to get to my financial goals and things that I want to do, I just need to do more of the thing that works. So the lesson here is you just need to do more until more isn't possible, which you will learn is probably way further down the line than where you're currently at. You're doing a little bit right now. And I learned this all the time when I'm like, man, I want to grow my business. I need to make more money. Well, what do I need to do? I'm like doing just this. And I realized there's this massive gap, this massive chasm between what I'm doing and what I'm capable of. And there's so much more that I could do before I start making other excuses or get fancy and try to get more systems or make hires. Do more until more isn't possible. So this next lesson comes from an actual poster I saw in someone's office way back, probably it was like 2 years ago, but I loved it and it really resonated with me. And the last 30 days in making these financial goals possible and hitting the $160,000 came back and reminded me a lot of that poster. And I'm like, this is it. This is such a huge thing. So there's this saying that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. So you can quickly go and you could, pull lists and you can get these strategies and you can get these learnings and you can start doing things that's probably going to get you closer to making money and you're going to move fast. But I don't want to just make a little bit of money today. I don't want to make a little bit of money tomorrow. I want to be here in 3 years, 5 years. I want to get rich one time. Alex Hormozi talks about this. He's like, if you do it right, you should only have to get rich once. So if you want to go far, you go together. So if you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. It was so much fun to have people doing it with me. It kept me accountable to showing up every single day and doing what I said I was going to do, even on the days I didn't feel like it. And I got to share in the challenges that we all face when we have to do things that we're uncomfortable with. Like 100%, I can say, I don't know if I would have made it through those 30 days if I wasn't surrounded by other people that were doing it with me. It made it so much more fun, so much more enjoyable. I was like, at the end, I think we just keep going. So my lesson here for you guys, if you're getting going, get surrounded by people that are doing what you want to do. Get surrounded by people that are making money or doing the things and actually wanting to change your life. And the funny thing is, your life will probably change too. We have a Skool community. It's in the link underneath this video. It's called skool.com/no fluff real estate. It's all investors that are wanting to make money in real estate. And it's called no fluff because there's no fluff. There's nothing to sell you. There's no course that you have to pay for. It's just a bunch of people trying to make money together. So if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Back about 6 years ago, I was stuck in a rut. I wasn't making the money that I was wanting to make. I wasn't achieving the things that I wanted to achieve. And physically, I was like, man, I feel like I've just plateaued. I'm not getting anywhere. So I came up with this radical idea to do 600 miles in 30 days. And over 30 days, my goal was to do 20 miles every day. And that was split up between a stair mill, running, and biking. Again, I know, doesn't look like I did now. But over those 30 days, the only goal was to do 600 miles. And I did it. I showed up every day, and day 3 was harder than day 2, and day 7 was harder than day 5. My body was sore. It was probably one of the most physically challenging things I've ever done. But at the end of it, I had lost weight. I was in really good shape. I also was introduced to my real self. I was introduced to what work actually looked like, but who I became during that time and what I learned about myself still sits with me to this day. That's the reason why 30 days talking to strangers and doing things that are uncomfortable ain't near as uncomfortable as having to run 3 miles with the bottom of your feet or blisters. Nothing but blisters on the bottom of your feet. You learn a lot about yourself. So I will say the lesson, guys, in the journey of you working and busting your tail and trying to achieve more, good for you. But the best part is you actually get to see what hard work is. And you can decide if you want to do it, or you may decide that you're not cut out for it. That's why I said in the beginning of this video, maybe it's not for everybody, but for those that want to achieve more and do more, it's out there for the taking. This next lesson I learned in passing, and it rang true over the 30 days, where it's not always easy. There was plenty of days where I didn't feel like showing up, and I knew that I had a bunch of tough phone calls to make, and I knew I had deals that were not gonna work out and some deals that were, and I'm like, what do I need to do today? It was chaos. But I heard this quote from Ryan Serhant about 4 months ago, and it said, if you're an adult, right, we make big boy decisions and big girl decisions, and you wanna quit, well, you're only allowed to quit on your best day. You're not allowed to quit on your worst day. You're not allowed to quit when things are bad and things are tough and you got, there's fires everywhere and it's not working the way you thought it was gonna work. You're only allowed to quit when it's your best day. And I'll tell you, in real estate, there is no way I'm quitting when I make $20,000 in a day. There's no way I'm quitting when I get that assignment fee and I see that I'm making $100,000 in 2 weeks, or when that $100,000 hits my bank account. There's no way I'm quitting on that day. So if I'm not gonna quit on my best day, I'm dang sure I'm not gonna quit on my worst. So things are gonna be hard. It's easy to set these goals. It's easy to watch these videos and plan out your next however long. You can have the perfect plan in the world, but you're gonna get hit in the face. You're gonna get knocked down. That's just the way it is. But you're not allowed to quit on those days. Only allowed to quit on your best days. And I promise you, it ain't worth it to quit on your best days. And with that lesson, it's the perfect segue into this one, which I feel is extremely important. When I was door knocking, guys, I would get this overwhelming feeling whenever I was going out, didn't know anything about real estate, and I'm knocking on people's door asking them if they want to sell their property. Totally not me, but it was because I needed to make money. I have a kid coming in 9 months. Oh my gosh, something's got to change, that I actually went out there and started doing it. And by necessity, all that anxious feeling, all that overwhelmed, oh my God, I need to make money, something needs to change in my life. Well, that overwhelm, that anxious feeling I learned comes from knowing that you could do something, but then not doing anything about it. That's where the overwhelm comes from. That's where the anxiety comes from. If I just start taking massive action in what I call action mode, just forgetting about everything else, making the decision to get started, just going, doing exactly what I know to do, start talking to people, do the things that I know is going to make me money. When I'm in that mode, anxiety and overwhelm doesn't exist. So the only thing that I want to challenge you guys with as a part of this lesson is to figure out what areas do you feel that overwhelm and anxiety, and what could you do about it today? What is something you could do? Even if it's little, even if it's tiny, you made a phone call and they didn't even pick up, or you tried to reach out to this person that you've been meaning to for a long time and they didn't actually answer. But see how good that makes you feel. I promise you, overwhelming anxiety will melt away when you're in constant action. And lastly, the lesson I want to leave with you guys is over the 30-day period, I did 36 contracts. Our average contract brings us anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000. Well, how did I only make $160,000 when we contracted so many properties? Well, I had to cancel quite a few of them. The market in Atlanta changed. I was calling, getting contracts, prices and properties that I would have sold last October, they weren't selling. I had properties that were in Florida that we went and viewed the property after getting it under contract with our contractors to figure out what work needs to be done to it, had foundation problems, or it was recently flooded. It was in a flood hazard zone, or the agent didn't disclose to us that the property was in worse condition than what they said it was. All these things fell through. Had so many contracts that I had to get out of because it wasn't what we thought it was. But I still made $160,000 in 30 days, even though I had deals that didn't work out. And if I had only been doing a little bit of work or a little bit of action, those canceled deals or those contracts that fell through would have took me out. We would have made no money. But thank God we were in massive action mode of saying, I'm going to take care of what I can take care of. Oh, I need to do more until more isn't possible anymore. Well, the only thing I could control on a daily basis is how I react, how I show up in the work that I do today. So even though I did fail, and even though I had contracts canceled, we still made a ton of money. We still had over almost $200,000. It's, as of the time of this recording, it's about $162,000 over the 30 days. And there's a chance that that could go over $200,000 depending on a couple deals that are still up in the air. But that's the lesson here. There is no success without failure. There is no failure without some sort of success, unless you give up completely. Failure and success go together. They are not mutually exclusive. There isn't just one where it exists without the other. Every single day where I show up, I fail and I win and I'm successful. Every day I have wins and losses and valleys and peaks and ups and downs. It's so important as a business person, entrepreneur, that you don't get too high on the highs and you don't get too low on the lows. You got to fly right here. And that's why it's so important. You do it with other people and you're surrounded with great individuals, because you know, when you ask any successful person, people talk about I failed and I failed and I failed, as if it's not something that they still do to this day. I fail every single day. Failure and success go together. They are not separate. And once you understand that, the whole entire world will open up for you. So you can achieve crazy things in 30 days if you stay focused. And hopefully this video was valuable for you. If you want to join our Skool community, it's completely free. There is no sale, no upsell in there. The link's in the description. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.